Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you're watching this. Hope you are doing well, and welcome to your in-depth match analysis for Nottingham Forest 1, Liverpool 0. In today's video, we will be breaking down how did Forest win, why did Forest win, and can they rinse and repeat and do this all again? So grab your popcorn, slap that smile back on your face. Let's relive and rejoice in the memory from some of the key moments in the game. Before we get into it, guys, please do leave a like on the video if you're still happy about the result. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and if you want to support the channel, you can of course become a member for 99p. It'll get you your member badges, the Forest player emojis, and loads of other perks as well. On top of that, guys, if you're ever shopping on Amazon, please consider using our links down below. You don't need to purchase what's on there, but anytime you use that link and you carry on doing your normal shopping, it gives the channel a little few extra pennies completely free of charge to yourself, and I do greatly appreciate it. Guys, let's get into the video and let's talk about this delicious victory. Alright guys, so let's get into it and let's start looking at this beautiful victory that was earned by us. Earned and deserved. And look, I'll tell you off the offset now, there was plenty of stuff that needs work on, plenty of stuff to improve on. We gave away some pretty clinical chances as well, but we're not going through that today. Look, we've done plenty of analysis on improvements. I want to show today is going to be about showing those improvements that are showing signs of working now. So before I get inundated with comments, yes, I know Virgil had some sitters and what have you, I know, but it's not what we're doing today. So let's jump into it. And what I want to talk about first is the actual shape of this team and how much different and better it does actually look. Look at this back line here. You got Cookie and McKenna in a straight line there. And you got Yates and Freuler sitting in the pocket in front of them, and look at the space in between them. Not much at all between the lines. This is night and day different to how we've seen it before. Then you got Jesse Lingard here, you got Aurier here pressing the ball. And what's the difference here? Normally what would have happened is Aurier probably would have been back here somewhere, not pressing on the ball. Jesse Lingard would have been, well, somewhere off the screen, no doubt. And then Curtis here would have had time to maybe ping a ball into Salah. He could have played it out wide here. Look at the frustration from Carvalho. If Jesse wasn't where he is, there's an easy pass across the pitch into Firmino. There's loads of options that normally we were seeing these teams have. So this, because of the shape, because of the pressure, there's no easy pass for him to make. And of course, he's forced to go back to, just behind my head here, Virgil. And when he goes back straight away, again, you see a difference in the mentality where Jesse Lingard goes to close. Doesn't give Virgil enough time. Normally, he could have just played the ball here into Firmino if he was under no pressure. But because Lingard starts pressuring him, you see that he still can't. And you can see here, look at Firmino getting frustrated, pointing down, asking for the ball. But this is what pressure does. This is what pressing does to teams. He has to go backwards. Ball gets released, goes backwards, and now if you still look at it, the shape is being maintained. You got Freuler within good eyesight of Firmino. You've got Coyote here covering it as well, so it's not an easy pass for Fabinho to do. And then you've got Jesse Lingard all over Virgil van Dijk. And let's just keep rolling it forward. And now what happens is you see more pressing coming from the Forest team in the shape of Awoniyi. Now, Awoniyi's not making it easier. And why does this help? Because it means that the likes of Coyote doesn't have to go out to meet the pass. He can stay in the correct shape and the manner. He's going to come in and try and apply pressure onto Firmino. You can see here, Bobby Firmino is pointing out, well, the ball can only go out wide here from the Liverpool stance. And even if it does there, everything, look at the shape. There's Nico, there's McKenna, there's the second bank here. You can't see it off the screen, but Yatesy is across the way from Freuler. Very tight, very compact, very, very well organized. And we did see shoots of this in the previous matches, but hopefully now we're starting to see this develop into a team that can be compact and attack forward. So let's roll that forward. Firmino took a step forward. Again, you can see the amount of bodies we have back, all compacted. There is one pass available there into, what's his name, Carvalho. So you could say maybe Yates could have been maybe a bit tighter, a step across here just to cover that pass out, but you're not gonna hold him accountable for it. And what's gonna happen next is that the ball comes into there. Salah's gonna try and make a run around the corner there, but because there's enough pressure and bodies around him, Carvalho doesn't read it and he actually plays the ball the wrong side there. Again, because they haven't got time to think, they haven't got time to relax and play the ball. And what happens is it ends up going straight to McKenna, who can clear it forward. So that's phase one, where we've been compact. And again, just look at the numbers that are in there. The lines are still intact. You've got the defensive four in a straight line, and look where they are on the edge of the box. Normally, we would be seeing them somewhere back here, protecting the 6-yard box. But because they're defending that edge of the box, it's so much easier to spring a counter attack from. Then you got the first bank line there. You got Yates, Freuler, and Coyote. And then you've got the second one here where you've got Lingard, and then you've got Awoniyi, who's just off screen around there as well. It's so much better. It's so much better to watch. So then the ball gets released. You can't see it on here, but basically Awoniyi chested it down, turned for Fabinho, and now he's on the other side of Fabinho. And what's interesting to see is you've still got here Van Dijk, you got Fabinho, and then you got Milner here, all in the Forest half. And this is why I was saying before the match, saying all week, that this team, Liverpool, suits us more to play against because their centre-backs play so high up that it will allow us the chances to counter-attack. As you saw in the earlier part of the sequence, Van Dijk was even higher up, coming towards the edge of our box. And now as we break, what you'll see is that Awoniyi's going to lay this off into MG Dub here, and then he's going to play a magical through ball outside of the boot, round the corner into him. So he's grabbed the ball here. Awoniyi again making the run. The other thing you're seeing different is in the transition now, because Awoniyi's playing, you can see there's a desire to run forward. He's running forward. That encourages Lingard to get moving forward as well. And what's good to see is Coyote is correctly in his position where I want him to see, a bit deeper, just sitting there, just in case the move breaks down. Let's keep running this forward. And now you can see what I mentioned about where the Liverpool defenders were. Now we're into the Liverpool half. You can see Milner's out of position. Firmino's out of position. You got Van Dijk struggling to recover. And you got Gomez all over the place. Awoniyi played him like a fiddle all game. And what's going to happen now is, because Awoniyi's cut out, he went that way and then cut back in. He's got Gomez to cross over, and Gomez is all out of shape now. And then the panic starts. Look at Virgil pointing at Gomez, get wider, cover the space wider. He's running back. They're trying to reorganize on the fly. It makes it extremely hard to do. Gomez doesn't listen. He stays narrow there. And look at this. This is commitment now we're seeing. Look, I was critical to Jesse Lingard in the player ratings. And I've got to say, having watched the match back, there was a lot of subtle things that I didn't pick up on while watching the game that he was doing very well. So even with Lingard, we're seeing improvements. He's going to make the overlapping run and get a shot off in a second. Let's run that forward. There's the overlapping run. But more importantly, look at it. They're at 6s and 7s. This is the ex-European champions, the Champions League finalists from last year, the team that finished 1 point behind Man City. This is suddenly their defensive line at 6s and 7s with the overlaps coming through. Lingard's about to come through there. You got MG Dub busting a gut there. You got Robinson here, completely out of position, and Milner still huffing and puffing to get himself back. And then we get into the actual shot there. You can see it's a 3-on-2. Look, Jesse Lingard took the shot. It wasn't a good shot. It was straight at the keeper. But it's the fact that we got into those positions. He's going to shoot, hit the keeper. Look, you could argue that maybe once Gomez committed, which he will do here, he could have squared it across to Awoniyi. MG Dub could have overlapped him around the outside. Look, there's, hindsight's a wonderful thing, as they say. But the point is, it doesn't matter about the goal. What really pleased me was the compactness of the defense, and finally the change into the transition of the attack, rather than just the lumped ball forward, the Hollywood ball forward that we've been seeing, the past 5, 6, 7 matches, there's been some cohesion together. So I was really happy to see that attack. Let's move on to the next one. For weeks, if not months, I've been crying out, moaning, some of you will say, about pressing from the front. Pressing from the front is one of the fundamentals. I teach it at grassroots football. I talk about it here all the time. You see the best teams in the world where their defense starts from the front and the press is consistent. It's not just about running around after the ball like headless chickens. There needs to be trigger points. When one man goes, the other man knows what position he should be covering. The midfield steps up. One midfielder will go left, one will sit, one will go right, cover off passes, cover off passing lanes and things like that. And we were starting to see it. Look, it's still not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but we were starting to see it. And what does pressing cause? It causes mistakes. And what do mistakes lead to in football? They lead to goals and goal opportunities. It's very rare a goal is scored where someone can't be put at blame. Unless you get a worldie from outside the box, put on a postage stamp in the top bins, things like that. Most goals can be attributed to some kind of defensive mistake, a keeper mistake, or something out of this world. So let's have a look at this one. And this is the build-up to the goal, to the free kick that led to the goal. And for me, regardless of if we scored or not, got the free kick or not, it's the mentality that impressed me so much. So you have here Gomez picking up the ball. Bear in mind, all game, Awoniyi had been snapping at his heels. Awoniyi, if you guys get a chance to go and watch the match back, just specifically watch his performance, how he was working, how he had Gomez in his pocket, and how Gomez was struggling with the mental side of the game against him. I just want to show you the space. Look at this. This has to be at least 10 to 12 yards between Gomez and Awoniyi. He's picked the ball up there under no pressure yet. Easy pass if he wanted it that way. Yes, you can say Forest have retreated here and left a lot of space there. That's by and by. Like I said, there's still things that need to be worked on. But let's run this one forward. Awoniyi has come and closed the distance down. And what's different as well is he hasn't come and then just held himself in a retreated position, in terms of a holding position, should I say. He's come with the intent to tackle Gomez. And he's about to put the tackle in here. Bang, in it goes. Now, let me just bring that back. You can see already the likes of Freuler reading the game. I'm starting to see that Awoniyi's closed in. He's anticipating there's a chance he's going to, win the tackle there. You got Jesse Lingard here intensely watching the situation, and you got MG Dub there. Overall, the shape is still brilliant. Let's have a look at it. There's the line of the back there. Then you've got the midfield line, slightly off skew, but still very, very good. And then you've got this Lingard and MG Dub line just sitting in front of it. So the shape is looking still exquisite. 54 minutes into the game or whatever it was, they were still working hard. Pressing in football is very tiring as well. It's hard to press for 90 minutes because it's very energy sapping, but it was still going strong at this time of the match. Here comes the tackle. He wins the ball through. Gomez is all at sea with how to play against Awoniyi. He now has to grab him and foul him, and we will lead into the ball. It's just brilliant play. It's brilliant play, but straight away you can see the reaction. As soon as the tackle is won, Jesse's on his bike. Freuler's on the move. MG Dub's on the move. Coyote is not, and that pleases me so much. It pleases me so much. He was so much more level-headed yesterday. I gave him the man of the match because his performance was a lot more mature. I don't want to see him just bombing forward. I want to see him reading the game like he did on Saturday. So that for me was more pleasurable than the goal. It really was, because it's what I've been crying out for so long. I'll bring you some more examples in a second, but of course we have to talk about the goal. So here's the free kick that Awoniyi had won from pressing. I love it. And let me just talk you through the setup very quickly. You can see here, you got Cookie here, hands on his shoulders. Stephen Messi, shall we say, after what he produces in a second. And then you've got a very high line being held here by Liverpool. I don't like how high this line is. I would have probably sat it another 5 yards deeper. Look, MG Dub could have gone for a big one in over the top. Problem I have with this line is more times than not, and it did happen in this instance, as soon as the ball's kicked, they drop anyway here. And then a defensive line trying to meet a ball going backwards is harder than a defensive line coming forward to meet a ball. Just my opinion anyway. But they've got quite a high line there. On top of that as well, you've got McKenna. Now, what McKenna is going to do is act like a shield and a lamppost that Stephen Messi can work around. So let's run this forward one scene. And you got to see here at the moment, he's being held or marshaled, should you say, by Fabinho. Let's run this forward. He's now gone. Fabinho's reached out for him. And then he's just let him go. And now he is free. Now, what McKenna is doing is just holding the line up. And he's got his arms against the Liverpool players here. And this allows Cook the space to sneak in behind, to really watch the line as well, which is more important. So what he's doing now, and what's really good about this, is he's not using Liverpool players to read where the offside line is. He's using McKenna. So as long as McKenna is looking down the line, which he is, then that makes it really easy for Cook to get in behind and time his run. Now, he nearly got it slightly wrong, but because he was using McKenna, he hit the brakes on and then started again and timed it to perfection. So let's just watch that ball. Floated like a laser out to him. And I've just paused it on this scene. Look, I've had a lot of things to say about Cookie over the last few weeks, and how I think he's too slow to play as the centre-back. I think there are other options to do. But in this match, he was Messi. I mean, forget playing him at centre-back. Put him at the right wing. He's like a little whippet out there. Look at that hamstring. I didn't know hamstrings could stretch that high. And I've taken this freeze frame in particular. I'm sure a lot of you know Zinedine Zidane is my all-time greatest favourite footballer, should I say. I've seen so many times where he's pulled the ball out of the air like this with this leg high above it. And this just reminded me of Zidane so much that I had to take the freeze frame there. The technique, the way he pulled it down and killed the ball was unreal. So Cookie, full credit to you. Cookie Zidane, man. Cookie Messi. Call him what you want. I just call him the Cookmeister. Anyway, not only can he pull a ball down, but then he drills in a ball. Look, he didn't look up. He just played it in the corridor of uncertainty, as is known as in football. But what does this tell you? This tells you that this is predetermined and pre-drilled and pre-practiced on the training ground. And you can see he's aiming the ball to come in and along this channel. It's still a hard pass to make. But look at the numbers we've got in. We've got 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I like the position of all of them. Because if he overhits it, let's say he went for the big curveball into the 6-yard corridor, then Jesse Lingard's got an easy tap in, or Coyote coming in has an easy tap in. If it comes through the middle here, it's going to go to either Yatesy or to Awoniyi. If he hits it short and it hits one of these two defenders, you got McKenna there who can put a tackle in and apply some pressure. So overall, the setup of it is very good. But the other thing that shows you it's predetermined is this next scene here. The ball is roughly here right now. I know you can't quite see it on the image, but look at Awoniyi's body position, how he's leaning open, knowing that the ball's coming from that path and holding off the two defenders there. You can see Virgil is out of shape. Yatesy was having a look at it, but his body position isn't as good as Awoniyi's here. And it's going to come to Awoniyi, and he's going to do a bit of magic. So let's move this forward. So Awoniyi hits the ball. He sees that Alisson's going to save it. So you can clearly see he aims right here to play a 1-2 on the post. It's the only place really where he can guarantee the goal. He hits the post, it comes back to him, and then he's going to slot it and make it easier for himself into the empty net. Now, what's more impressive than that, if that didn't impress you guys enough, and this is something no one's picked up on, and it's something that I really want to highlight just to show you how good a footballer he is. Look, he may be unattractive on the eye in terms of his running style, in terms of the way he makes passes. We all know he needs to work on his second touch. But just look at his arm here. I just want to highlight this and why this is so important there. Because he's taken the shot and he's already anticipating what might happen. Maybe Alisson saves it. Maybe it does hit the post. But he needs to make sure he can get the jump on the rest of the players. Why? Because with that arm there now, he's put this Liverpool defender out of the equation, and he's just about got Gomez covered with the arm as well. So with his arm out like that, you can't quite see my arm, it's always going to put him in front of those players. And that's exactly what happens when he gets the ball. And then he slots it in. It's 1-0 to the mighty Reds. And we all know how it finished. But brilliant, brilliant goal. Look, it's another set-piece goal. It's clear to see set pieces make up a part of the regime on the training ground. And you can argue, and quite rightly so, that set pieces are a very good source of goals for us at the moment. And the routines are very, very well thought out. But Awoniyi, Cook, MG Dub, and McKenna, for me, were the four main chess pieces in this one. So well done to all of them and to the rest of the team as well. Let's move on and show you even more examples of insanely good pressing. Okay, let's talk about this scenario. So Forest are now 1-0 up. We've moved further on into the second half. And normally what you would see from Forest in these situations, the ball is here, by the way, it's just been cleared forward from the defense. Normally what you would see over the past few games is Forest just retreating back into their compressed shape and holding their position and trying to hold on for dear life. Instead now what you're seeing is confidence growing and more pressing happening. Awoniyi on his bike already. Look how many yards he's giving up to Gomez there. You've got Jesse Lingard giving up yards to, I'm not sure who that is. It might be Henderson. Who cares? He's on the losing team. He's going to go and press him there. He's giving up yards as well. And let's just watch this sequence. So straight away, Gomez gets the ball. Awoniyi isn't even that close to him, but he's so embedded in his mind right now, living there rent-free, that he panics and plays the ball straight down the line to, who is that, guys? Let me know in the comments down below. I can't quite make it out. To that Liverpool player. The ball goes out there, and straight away, just let me bring that back. Look how far Lingard has closed. He started from the middle of our own pitch and worked his way in a matter of seconds all the way across there, to the point that when the ball is played, he gets the first touch in on it already. It's really good to see. And this is what I meant when I said earlier that I didn't do Lingard credit on the match ratings, because these are things that I missed during the match. That's why it's really important to go back and rewatch a match. Even if it is a defeat, you learn a lot just by watching it, or just watch my analysis and I'll do all the hard yards for you guys. So please do, if you're enjoying this, please do think about hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Anyway, let's move this on. So now straight away, what can you see is MG Dub smelling it, making his way forward as well. Awoniyi sees what's happened. He's going to turn and get on his bike. And that's exactly what happens. As I keep mentioning, Gomez is so clouded in the mind right now. He's judging everything completely wrong. Lingard is actually going to play a really poor pass into Awoniyi right now, but it's going to not matter because of the stress they're putting under these players. Just watch Gomez here. The pass has been played. It's poor. It's not in the path of Awoniyi. He's just got his eyes here. Anyone would think someone told him that he's racing Awoniyi to the goal line and let's see who wins. He's not interested in looking at the ball. This is the kind of defending we were seeing our players doing in recent matches against Bournemouth, against Fulham, etc. We're seeing it against opposition. My point is, it doesn't matter how good a player you are. Once that pressure gets squeezed onto you, where you get that little bit of press against you, it changes everything. It really does. So let's move this on, and you can see the ball gets played forward. Awoniyi makes a lovely run in there, and now look at the overload we have. There's 2 players there, Gomez and Milner in there, and Forest have got 1, 2, 3, 4 players in that pocket. So let me just clear those lines. So this is what you'd call the pocket between the lines right here, and Forest have 4 players in it. There's so many options that could be taken. Now Awoniyi plays himself a good little ball here. He's going to play the ball into the space in a second, into the box, into MG Dub. And let's have a look at that. He gets the ball. The touch isn't the greatest, unfortunately, but he does try and get it out of his feet quickly. Look at the space in the box that he has. And to be honest, I love him and everything. I think he should be scoring in that situation. If he struggled with the ball out of his feet, Coyote had made a break as well. Could have laid it back into his path potentially. And then you had Lingard as well. Look at the ground Lingard has covered to be the furthest man forward now as well. He takes a shot. To be honest, Milner gets in and puts in a great tackle. But the chance was created all from the press, where normally in previous matches, all we were doing was retreating and praying to God that they wouldn't break us. This is what I've been wanting to see, and I'm so proud of the way they were doing it. Let me give you one final example. At the moment, it doesn't seem to matter who's coming onto the pitch into that midfield. They all seem to be doing the same thing, which shows to you that it is being instructed correctly, finally. Look, the question is, why has it taken this long to get those basic instructions into them? But that's a discussion for another day. But again, let's have a look at this scenario. And this scenario is even more unique because Liverpool have numbers back. They're comfortable in the ball right now. And again, normally we're getting towards the end of the match here. Normally you'd expect Forest to be sitting in a 10-0-0 formation. They're not. They're still committing a few players forward. So let's have a quick look at the scenario. You've got the ball being passed into Fabinho here. And just watch where my boy Mangala is at the moment. And this is why I still think, look, as good as Kyoto was in the match, he had a fantastic match. Mangala, for me, still, once fully fit, has to be the starter. But just watch this scenario. He gets the ball there. Mangala still has plenty of yards to make. He's going to press. MG Dub, look at him. He's going to press. Coming in this way at him. This panic time. Alarm bells ringing in Fabinho's head. He comes towards Mangala. Mangala then gets in on him and he has to shield and protect the ball. And he's under complete stress here. And look at Yates' awareness. Now, Yates has an open path. He doesn't need to tackle the ball now because of the work Mangala's done. He can just go and literally rob Fabinho from it. And that's exactly what he does. He goes, he picks the ball up, and now we're on the break and we're on the counter-attack. And we still don't have the numbers that Liverpool have back. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4 players behind the ball. We've only got 1, 2, 3 in front of the ball. And obviously Mangala and Firmino are going to end up in a slight tussle, nothing major. And let's just run it forward and see what happens, because Yatesy then starts to drive the ball forward. Liverpool on the back foot start to retreat and go backwards. You've got Henderson there moaning about something, Firmino moaning about something as well, Forest getting on with it, and there's the panic. The panic is the pointing from Henderson. Cover this man, cover the other. The movement forward. The movement forward. Movement forward. It's beautiful to see. There's numbers going with it. It's still not an easy attack, this one. Anyway, Yates lays the ball out wide to MG Dub, and here's where the confidence is growing. Look at Yatesy. He's pointing where he wants the ball. He's going to be making those breaking runs into the box that he was so good at last season that produced goals. He's pointing the ball. Basically what he wants right now is MG Dub to play that ball through the lines there into him for him to run on. MG Dub's got better ideas than that. He waits until the players commit and Yatesy gets behind the line and he puts through a delightful little chip into the space here. Yatesy runs onto it. These two are completely unaware of what's going on. Yatesy gets through, outpaces Fabinho on it. And, to be honest, from there, he should be scoring, but it's a wonderful save from Alisson. Maybe just drill it in. It is on his weak foot, so we can't be over harsh and over critical on him. But it's a great chance. It's a great chance. And look at the desperation in the way Alisson's diving to save it. This, again, let me remind you, ex-European champions, 90 points last season in the Premier League, humbled by the championship promoted Nottingham Forest. It's lovely to see, and that image for me is one of the favourite images of the match. It really is the look of sheer determination in Yatesy's face. Liverpool players trying to catch up. One of the greatest keepers currently in the world at full stretch, having to use his upper arm to keep Liverpool from conceding another one. It says it all. It says it all. And what causes all of this? The press. The press from the front is so key and so important. And that's why I've been bleating on about it. There's still plenty of work to do. There is. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not go crazy like I was after the match. Well, let us. Why not? Let's enjoy this match for a couple of days. Then we can get serious and talk about the Arsenal match. And of course, we'll be doing the preview on that. But this is all I've been asking for, is show me commitment, show me organization, and show me a desire to play some attacking football while still being able to be compact at the back. There are so many more examples I could have shared. There are so many bad examples I could have shared where we're still at 6s and 7s in certain situations. But that's fine. We rode our luck. We deserved it after the way we performed. What we can't go back to is the performances against Wolves, against Villa, even against Brighton, specifically in the first half, where we're just sitting there to make up the numbers and make sure that we don't get broken down. There has to be that element of attack. If we can do it against Liverpool, we can do it against anyone. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of that. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope what I've said has made some sense, if not too much. Please leave me your comments down below. Thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow, as per always, with another video and the Forest Fan Forum. So please make sure you don't miss that. We've got a hell of a panel coming on for that one. Please don't forget, before you leave here, if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to become a member, it's only 99p. And until tomorrow, come on you Reds.